Ewan McGregor is reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the upcoming Kenobi series on Disney+. We don't know when it's releasing. He talks about that a little bit in this interview, but in this interview with Ace Universe, he mainly talks about the technology used in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that is similar to the ones that they use in The Mandalorian. I'm pretty confident they're going to be the exact same thing, but here's what he has to say. They employ that incredible screen, and I don't even begin to know how it works, but it's pretty amazing, you know? And when you're on set, if you're in a snow cape or something, well, you look around, you see that, and it makes you feel like you're in the place. I think it's going to be it's going to feel realer for us, for the actors, and I think we'll be using some of that technology on our show. And he even said that he's more excited about reprising his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi and playing Obi-Wan Kenobi this time around to mine that gap between episodes 3 and 4 and kind of become the Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi role. And he also talks about how he's more excited doing it this time than he was with the prequels because he realizes how much Star Wars means to a lot of people in the universe, and I think one of the reasons we see that now is because of social media and the explosion of prequel memes and just the Star Wars culture is, believe it or not, I know people say Star Wars is dead, has really blown up over the past 10 years, and still is a huge franchise to this day. And so he talks about how he even likes the idea of the show being called Hello There, the Kenobi story, or something like that, the Obi-Wan Kenobi story, from the meme Hello There that's been blowing up all around. I love Ewan McGregor. I really think he's great for the fandom. I love the way he interacts with the fandom, the way he's been handling everything over the past 5 to 10 years, because even when it came to the backlash for the prequels, he would talk about it in a positive light in some ways. He would say it's unfortunate that they got so much backlash, but it's nice seeing the kids that grew up with those films love them so much now. And I think Ewan McGregor represents a huge aspect of honesty in the Star Wars fandom, because even when he was being Obi-Wan with the prequels a few years after, he talked about how he really didn't like a lot of the Star Wars fans who would approach him, get an autograph, and then run off and sell it on eBay for 4 times the profit. I mean, you don't even really pay for autographs sometimes. I mean, sometimes you just catch these guys on the street, and he always found it weird too. I remember there's an interview of him talking about how people would say, "May the Force be with you, Ewan," and he'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And so I just love the way he looks at all this, because he takes it from a very realistic standpoint of this is just a franchise, this is just a fictional universe, but he also understands what it means to so many people across the world, and I think it means a lot more to him now. And I'm excited to see them use the Mandalorian technology into the Kenobi series, because it truly has been revolutionary. And I think one thing that this offers too is a good perspective in hindsight being 2020, looking back at the prequels, saying we may have needed the technology that the prequels implemented to get to this point right now that we have in film, where we have stagecraft technology that allows actors and directors to really walk into a set in any location in the world that they want. They can create any environment that they want simply using stagecraft technology, as opposed to the prequels where you had blue screen and green screen. And while that's pretty much the norm nowadays, and I understand a lot of prequel fans are very young and don't understand why that was such a problem for the time, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith were shot digitally, and a lot of CGI was used in the prequels that at the time was very new, and it was revolutionary. I gotta give George Lucas credit for it, because it did revolutionize the film industry again. I mean, he did it with the originals, and now he did it again with the prequels, and he's clearly having influence from the prequels onto stagecraft technology, which is revolutionizing the television industry and probably eventually going to be the film industry as well. But the point being is that when the green screen and blue screen were implemented into The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, a lot of the acting there seemed a little off and different, because a lot of the actors weren't used to having that kind of environment where George Little would tell them, hey, just imagine that you're walking through Camino and there's a bunch of all these millions of clones around you. Even the actress for Padme, Natalie Portman, had talked about after The Phantom Menace came out, she said that it was really hard to film certain scenes because you have to look at a certain direction and you have to look at this character who's moving around but isn't really there. It was different. It was very confusing at the time. So now that we as a film industry have grown with this technology, with digital filmmaking, with CGI, and using these CGI animated characters, people have gotten used to it, and I think the stagecraft technology is taking it a step further so we can actually improve on television, we can improve on film, and hopefully you can see that even with the acting and the actors, where they actually feel like they're in that environment, and instead of using their imagination, which I know some of us are going to be hard to believe to say that, oh, you can't just imagine that you're on Tatooine or you're on Kamino. Some people can, sure. A lot of us probably could, because we grew up watching these movies and we all grew up with that kind of imagination. But during this time that these films were made, the prequels, it was different, and they probably didn't have the imagination to really think that they were on Tatooine or Naboo or anything like that. So I think this is going to help the acting a lot in the Kenobi series, and I'm excited to see what they can pull off with the series, because I'm pretty confident most of it's going to be set on Tatooine. So they may not go to Tunisia at all. They may, but they may not, and they may do a lot of stagecraft technology for this show. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Kenobi series. He talks about the series hopefully starting to film in 2021. He even knocks on wood. And let's all do the same, because boy, do we need that series to come out as soon as possible. It has had major production problems over the past 4 to 5 years, and I'm getting real tired of it. So tell me your thoughts below. I'm Star Wars Only. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, because it does help out the channel. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you. Always.